So, let's talk about David Coote yesterday, the VAR official who was in charge of the game, who made these big decisions in Stockley Park. Just a bit of a heads up for people who are unaware, he was also the VAR when we were at Manchester United last season at Old Trafford. You know, that contentious goal that United scored, the breakaway goal where Origi was fouled. Guess who was in the VAR room that day? Guess who was berated by Andy Robertson at the end of a game fairly recently, and stood there with a bit of a, I won't say smirk on his face, but a bit of an expression on his face at the time. And guess it was in the VAR room yesterday for the two contentious decisions that weren't given. Firstly, we've got the offside decision that ended in Virgil Van Dijk getting scissor challenged by Jordan Pickford, which has, of course, now obviously had confirmation that Van Dijk looks like he's out for the season. While we're on that, David Maddock has said Liverpool confirmed Van Dijk to have surgery on serious knee injury, which will sideline him for several months. Club will wait for surgery before putting time in his recovery, so haven't yet ruled out return this season. Injury thought to be the most serious grade 3 ACL tear. Now, nothing confirmed yet by the club with regards to exactly what level of ACL tear this is, nor am I a medical expert, and I'm not going to even try and claim to have any knowledge on this stuff. But what we can say for certain is we're going to be without Virgil van Dijk for the foreseeable future for a challenge that I'm hearing mixed things on. So some media are saying that David Coote just forgot to check for the red card, and others are saying that he checked for the red card and that he just thought it wasn't red card worthy. Now, to think that that's not red card worthy is an embarrassment to the sport, to other officials who try to ref the game with integrity. I'm going to go a step further and say David Coote has something against Liverpool, some agenda against Liverpool, and I'm allowed to say that because I'm a fan and it's an opinion. Thankfully, this is one of the good things about being on YouTube, is we can say stuff a little bit more controversial because it's just an opinion, and my opinion is that David Coote intentionally fucked us over. But it is what it is, and we have to move on from it, ladies and gents. We have to brush ourselves down, refocus, and look ahead to the rest of the season. There is some good news in this scenario, by the way. It looks like Thiago, it's a minor injury. You're going to miss the Ajax game, but fingers crossed he should be ready for the one after that. So, which it seems to be Sheffield United, by the way. Sorry, I was getting a little bit ahead of myself there. There's been a goal in the Villa game. Aston Villa have scored right in the 90th minute there against Leicester. Ross Barkley actually from the edge of the box. But to go back to the Thiago stuff, thankfully it looks like he'll be okay. That was a red card, and it was not. It was absolutely a red card, Imran, no doubt about it. And we haven't even spoken about Richarlison yet, that little scumbag, and his fucking antics, and his posting the challenge on social media. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, yeah, you'll win brownie points with the Everton fans, I'm sure, but that is not the act of a professional. That is, the challenge was rightly given a red card. Fair play to Thiago, by the way, for being able to see out that game. Even just walking around the pitch, he was trying to make things tick with his passing and that. So, you know, massive shout out to Thiago for having the courage and the guts to get through the rest of that game. Pickford apologised to Virgil van Dijk, said Cube. That's good. I mean that's you always want to see that in these scenarios. It's really difficult on here because I don't ever think that any professional footballer intentionally wants to go out and hurt another footballer. I don't think Jordan Pickford in his mind when he was coming out there said I'm going to end Van Dijk's season. I just refuse to think that's the case. He made the rash challenge. It's then over to the officials to deal with it, and look, they just didn't deal with it. Bottled it, cheated us, whatever you want to call it. I mean, each to their own. We all have different views on this. We're all at different levels of fume right now. Richarlison has to be banned as well as Pickford. I would imagine Richarlison probably looking at a 3-game ban. And that was an instant red. The referee made the right call there. VAR checked it, of course. It was given the go ahead because it was a blatant red card. There was no ifs, ands or buts about that one. We'll get. Sorry, what's the point of VAR if they aren't going to make the wrong decisions anyway? Said Alex Bardas. Excuse me, mate. Yeah, that's just that. I don't want to be on here sounding like I'm bitter about the result yesterday. I'm more concerned about Virgil van Dijk and Thiago and David Coote. I really had nothing against Everton until the way their fans acted towards me yesterday, and now genuinely I've just got no time for them. I'm not going to interact with them in any way. I block every single one of them that comes near me. I put my account on private on Twitter, just so you know I can just being myself. Do you think the VVD injury could push us to bring in Upamecano in the January window? Yes, that's what I wanted to lead to, and thank you for the super chat, Bradley. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are enjoying the stream, by the way, please do hit that subscribe button. We're on the march to 55k. As you can see, we've gone past 53. Thank you so much for that. That means the world to us and our community on here. Right, let's talk about the Virgil van Dijk situation then. It's easy in hindsight for any of us, myself included, to look and say that we should have acted in the summer window. We made a calculated risk, I think, when we didn't bring in another centre-back. Now, obviously, worst case scenario was after coming to fruition. Virgil van Dijk looks like he's out for the entire season, possible grade 3 that we spoke about earlier on. So where do we go from here then is the situation. I still think there are options available to Jurgen Klopp. Now, the January window, I fully agree with what everybody says. We probably do need to try and go in there and get Upamecano. If Upamecano was the plan for next summer. However the plan was for next summer, I do think that Liverpool should look to speed that up in January, if at all possible. Now, if it is Upamecano, as an example, Leipzig could be in a race in the Bundesliga. They could be in the Champions League still. And they may not want to let a defender of that calibre go mid-season. In fact, they probably won't. Who would want to let a defender of that calibre go mid-season? So it would probably take a clever piece of work by Michael Edwards, maybe paying a little premium on top of what would be his €40 million buyout clause that comes into effect next summer. So look, that's from Michael Edwards and the geniuses that do the Liverpool transfers to sort out. Naveen, thank you for the super chat. Said now VVD is out. Is our season over? I'm devastated. No, the season isn't over, of course. Are we going to miss Virgil van Dijk? 100%. Any club in the world would miss a centre back of the calibre of Virgil van Dijk. And has it blown the title race wide open? Yes, I would agree with any opposition fan that thinks that this has moved the title race a little bit closer and that it could be more of a battle this season. You've got, obviously, Liverpool, you've got Manchester City, Spurs looking a bit better. I mean, I know they threw away a 3-goal lead today, but, you know, if they can get it together, they look decent. Obviously, Manchester United will fancy a little bit of a spring in their step yesterday. A late win. Fair play to them, 4-1. It could be a very close title race. But let's get back to the Van Dijk situation right now. We have a couple of options available to the manager. What I would suggest is that we drop Fabinho back and partner him alongside Joe Matip now and have Joe Gomez as the option to come in and rotate. It's not ideal. It's not perfect. And it's not what a lot of people will want. I just want to check on a super chat here, 1 second. I'm backing Matip or Fabinho to drop in and perform with the champions, said Blue. Thank you for that, mate. I'm the same. That would be my preferred option. If we were going into a big game now against United or whatever, my option would be to drop Fabinho back, especially now that we know Thiago is only a short-term injury, thank goodness. Have Thiago there to play with Jordan Henderson and Gini Wijnaldum. Maybe give Hendo the freedom a bit more that he had when Thiago was playing yesterday. You could see Hendo got a bit more freedom on the right-hand side. And then you still have Joe Gomez in there. And don't forget, we still have the young lads, Billy Cometio and the like as well, to Reece Williams, who can come in and do a job. But there are things that we're going to miss that we can't replace. We're going to miss Virgil van Dijk's passing ability. That's something that has been very important to the way that we attack, the way that we defend. We're going to miss that without a shadow of a doubt. Are there players in there that can do what he does? Not really, not to the same extent. Obviously Trent can, fantastic range of passing from him. And Joel Matip is very good at carrying the ball forward as well. So maybe we'll have to look at how we set up a little bit differently. Maybe the way we attack. Maybe Thiago coming in could actually be the catalyst to play through the middle a little bit more. Give him a bit more of the ball and give opposition fans, or opposition clubs I should say, a different option to think about when we are on the attack. So that's what I would suggest may happen. It's the obvious thing just to drop Fabinho back and then use Joe Gomez as and when needed. But I suppose the big question arises then, is Joe Gomez and Joe Matip rather injury prone, I think it's fair to say. So if one of them picks up an injury, then yeah, we could be in trouble. I don't know, Brian, what have you got to say, buddy? He said, time to drop the high line defence, Craig. It's a good question. It is a very good question, mate. I think potentially we could drop a few yards deeper, mate. It depends on how much faith Jurgen Klopp has, I suppose, in the players that are there. I've spoken about the high line defence a good few times this week because it was a very well discussed topic after the defeat by Aston Villa. And that needs a press from the front and a press from midfield. And we got that. In fairness, against Everton, I thought our press was very good. I actually thought we played well against Everton. It was the performance I was looking for after that defeat against Villa. But it's going to be intriguing. I mean, I haven't got all the answers. It's going to be intriguing to see how the gaffer tweaks this. Little bit of a change of scenery, maybe going and playing away in Europe will give the lads a bit of a breather and a little bit of new focus. Obviously, they're going to be G'd on by the fact that they're going to want to do it for Van Dijk. They're going to want to go out and do something, win trophies this season for the big man. It's tough. It is tough. There's no doubt about it. And to see some of the sick fuckers on social media celebrating it. I mean, you're not a football fan if you're celebrating this type of stuff. How many times have you seen us on this channel or many other channels? I've always said it. Any game you watch, I always say, I hope he gets up. I never want to see a player injured. I never wish injury on any player. De Bruyne, as an example, first one I was on here wishing him well, wishing him a speedy recovery. That's the way we should be as football fans. We're competitive when we're playing against each other, but there are human aspects to this stuff as well. And yeah, look, I understand that this makes the title race a bit closer. I understand that people maybe secretly even could be a little bit happy about the situation, but to be publicly celebrating it, that takes a special kind of human being to do that.